Hi, welcome to the open mic night with the digital media track of Dragon Con. I'm Tyra, and occasionally I run our social media here at the digital media track. And Channing Sherman is joining me today. How are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. I'm happy to be here. How are you doing?
I am ecstatic to be with you because we have been on so many panels together,
Yes.
but we never get time to chat.
Yeah, because it's usually you're bouncing from one thing to the other. It's hard to have a conversation at Dragon Con, period.
Oh, it's true. I have my best conversations when you're asking me questions or I'm asking you questions. So
Correct.
we'll just do it in a stream instead.
I like it. You got to give the people what they want.
That's it. Of course, as I have told, Channing, like, right before we went where he couldn't hear me anymore, this is only my second time actual streaming where I'm not, like, just a guest and somebody else is handling everything. So at least you're number 2 and not number 1. You didn't have to I've been broken in a little bit now.
There you go.
Uh,
You get those kinks knocked out.
and that's Gwen. She just said, "Wahoo!" And she is our also part of our social media team at the Digital Media Track, and we love her. And she put up those nice graphics of you today.
Oh, well, thank you very much for getting my good side. I appreciate that.
So, Channing, how did you find the Digital Media Track?
Um, I've been going to Dragon Con long enough to where I remember finding it in the paper book that they used to give
Oh,
you with
yes.
all the
With
tracks and things on it.
the
Yeah.
newsprint?
Yes, actually, I've been going since it was called the podcasting track.
Me too. Oh my god. So,
Yeah,
okay, how long ago did you start going to DragonCon?
my first one was in 2008. I'm trying to remember when I first hit the podcasting track, but it was a few years after. Yeah, just a lot of fun, and I work in digital media, so it
I
just seemed like a good way to be able to say, okay, I can go and learn a few things and maybe write this off on my taxes.
Yes, it's super important.
Yes.
So, back the truck up, you work in social media and digital marketing?
Web mainly, but there's a
Oh,
lot
look
of
at you.
crossover. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
worked in online journalism for probably about 10 years, and that
Okay.
incorporated web, video, and audio and social media. Then I went in on the
Ah,
higher ed side, and I've worked for two academic medical centers, basically med schools.
very nice.
Yes, and at that first one, you had kind of that same thing. There was some videos, some web. So yeah, and I'm one of those geeks. I follow a lot of stuff too. So yeah, I was very excited to meet some like-minded people and hopefully pick up a few things.
Well, you obviously transitioned from being a part of the audience to being a part of the track. So how did that happen?
Um, honestly, I think the people on the track just got tired of seeing me every year just showing up, and I guess they just figured, what, let's just put the guy on a panel. He's been here for 5, 6 years now, always asking for tips on starting a podcast. So let's just, throw him up there at this point in time because I knew more about starting a podcast than I should have for someone who at the time did not have a podcast.
I know. I still remember when we were virtual, we were all like, "So Channing, when?"
Yes. Yes, very very much so. So yeah, I think that's kind of how it started, and I knew a couple of people, if not by name, definitely by face, and yeah, just did it and had a good time, and then started doing it, and I think last year I was on like 5 or 6 different ones across 3 different tracks. So yeah, I did a lot of walking at Dragon Con, got
You
those
did
steps
some
in.
you did some moderating too. You had I forget
Yes.
which panel you did put together, but was it building communities?
Yeah, moderated building communities, and I mentioned before we started on the comics track, I moderated a panel on, let's just say, ill-advised comic book and cartoon characters, ones that were created, and you wonder how did that even get by? Who greenlit that? So yeah, those were two, and they were both very well received.
Well,
At least I
awesome.
think so.
Well, that's all that matters in the end.
Yeah, yeah, I think I did great. I don't
I've never known you not to.
know.
Shout out to Kurt and Scott out there. Scott is actually helping us run the behind the scenes at StreamYard. So thanks, Scott. We love you. Um, so I know how long did it take you to finally put out a podcast? How long?
Ooh,
How much nagging did we do?
there was a lot of I call it gentle pushing.
Oh, okay.
So I actually went back and looked because I have a Google Drive with
Uh-oh.
documents where I started planning it, and I looked at the created date, and the year was 2016. So we're talking back
Channing!
in the before times. Yeah, I'm not joking. 2016 was when I started putting together. Okay, this could be the name. I can get this person to talk about this. I can get yeah. Still have it because there's still some relevant information in there.
Never always keep everything
Yes, exactly. Until as
because
long
you
as I
never
have
know.
space on Google, I will. Yeah. Yeah, so
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's been a while.
I've gotta go through and clean out my Google and then
uh,
I
just
try to
just
be
just pay the
organized.
money for Google One. Just go ahead. Google needs more money. So just, do Google One.
I already have a Dropbox and an Apple storage. It's I
Hmm.
gotta say no someplace. So what did you end up what was your podcast? What is your podcast?
It is called the Smarty Art Brother. It's based
Okay.
on a Chris Rock skit. And
Okay.
the idea, we did a soft launch, and I think it worked out well. It was well received. But the idea is, I have some friends with some interesting jobs or interesting side gigs, and I wanted to talk to them about it. One of my first guests was a college buddy who's an award winning journalist, and so we kind of had this idea, well, right about now, being a reporter is kind of like being a terrorist, the way public opinion is of them right now.
It's
So
not
we
easy.
kind of, yeah, so that was kind of like the whole episode. When did being a journalist become like being a member of Cobra or the Decepticons? Yeah.
Could
Another
be.
friend, we did one on not just conspiracy theories, but conspiracy theories that are kind of tailored to the black community. Perfect example, everybody still says that Elvis is still alive. In the black community, Tupac is everywhere.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's one of our big ones. So we just kind of took some urban legends that either, spread wildly through the black community or that involved black people. I've got another friend. She's a great DEI instructor. She
Oh,
actually has a degree from Harvard in the stuff. She's coming on. We're going to basically talk about how diversity has become a bad word and what DEI is and isn't. So, yeah, really, it's just a way to kind of, get my friends on, get some things from a different perspective. And while I'm going to have some variety, most of my friends are people of color. And I think it's good to, in a world where most podcast hosts are white and male,
yep.
nothing against that. I know some great white male podcast hosts, but,
We
I want,
do.
yeah, I wanted to mix it up a little bit. Wanted to mix it up.
No, I think that's perfectly wonderful, and that's not the only place that you're getting behind the mic these days, is it?
It is not. I guess I've done such a good job on panels. They brought me on to do the Dragon Con report. So once a month, you get to hear me stumble over reading the names of guests, which is also fun. I
That's a
think they
drinking
made a
game,
drinking
isn't it?
game.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and I want to apologize to anyone whose liver I may have injured. That's yeah. There was a few. There
Bad.
was a few that got me. So yeah, but that one's been a lot of fun, and it's also really good because I don't know a lot of the behind the scenes, even though I've been going to Dragon Con for years. It's always been mostly as a fan. So when they bring on, a track director or somebody, it's kind of nice to see how the sausage is made, so to speak.
Sometimes you don't wanna know.
Yeah, some they haven't gotten anything with that yet, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So far, so good.
Well, so what's your favorite thing about doing the Dragon Con report? Ooh, Gwen, you're up next, I promise.
Favorite thing about doing it, one is, obviously meeting people. The Dragon Con report crew, they are hilarious.
They are.
I was a little worried at first because they kind of already have that built-in rapport, so I was kind of the outside guy coming in. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a real welcoming environment. So yeah, I would say that, and just kind of meeting new people and learning new things is the big one.
So we have a question from our audience from Gwen. She asked, "What's your best tip for getting comfortable behind the mic when you're first starting out?"
Ooh, first tip when you're first starting out.
Yeah.
Um, it was comfortable for me because my first episode, again, I was interviewing a friend. I was interviewing someone that I was comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that made it real good. The only downside was since I was new to it, we were using Zoom. And Zoom, the free version, you only get 1 hour. because
Yep.
my whole thing was, okay, I'm not ready to invest. Let me just do this. Well, we talked so long, we went over that 1 hour mark, I think twice. So it's just
Oh
constantly,
my.
restarting. But yeah, definitely, find somebody that you at least know a little bit and you kind of feel comfortable talking to. No matter how bad you think you sound, you're not as bad as you think you sound. I think I sound terrible on the mic. I really do. I feel like I have a southern
You?
drawl that comes out.
Oh, but that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, and it's like I say, I feel like I sound bad, but I've had enough people tell me that I don't, where I was able to get over that. So if you're listening to something and you say, "Oh my God, I sound terrible," you probably don't. It's just getting in your head. It's like those people who don't like leaving messages because they don't like the way they sound on answering machines.
Yep.
Yeah, so
But
don't, yeah, definitely ignore those kind of voices in your head.
well, and a southern drawl will get you drinks in other countries.
That's true. That's true. I got my passport last year, so I do want to test that theory.
Well, you definitely should because it will get you some things. Give
Yeah,
me a
yeah.
good glass of wine and I'm there.
One of the things on my bucket list is to drink with an actual Irishman. I want to drink some Irish whiskey with an actual Irishman. That is on my bucket list.
Well, prepare yourself because I've been to Ireland about a dozen times and those people know how to drink.
Exactly. I want to learn from a pro.
But you got to know what kind of whiskey because it matters. It will tell a lot about your political leanings, which whiskey you ask for.
Oh, got to keep that one in mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember the show. There was a travel show that featured celebrities, and Joel McHale went to Ireland, and he sampled some whiskey that was so good. I kid you not, it was $75 a shot. Right,
Ow.
right. And I'm thinking, I want that, but I don't want to pay for that.
We'll work on the southern drawl.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go full on Southern. I'm gonna have to go Nick Cage and Con Air Southern drawl. I'm gonna
Maybe.
have to really turn it up. Yeah.
Wait, you may does your wife have a southern drawl?
She doesn't have a Southern drawl, but she has a Carolina accent, which is a little bit different from a
Ooh.
true Southern
Nope.
drawl.
That you might use her. I mean, if we're not married to help each other get whiskey, why are we married?
Exactly.
So, by the way, Scott says everyone thinks they sound terrible when they start out. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And oh, get a good mic though. Like once you decide that you're going to do this, the best thing you can do is get yourself a good microphone because it
Yeah.
will make you sound better, even if you sound like crap.
Yeah, and I know there are some people who they insist on pro mics, but again, since I was just starting, I didn't want to go invest. I mean, a good Yeti mic with a
Yes.
USB is what I was using, and this is a mic I've had since 2016, and I think I told you it just died on me like 2 weeks ago.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I've had it for 6 good years. And yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it worked. It worked for me. And I also like it because it gives me a chance to grow. I feel like if I come in with
Yeah.
all the high end equipment off the bat, I want to be able to tell my listeners, hey, we've upgraded, got a new mic, or
We're
hey,
here.
we got a new background now. Yeah, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I keep thinking one day I'll get a green screen and y'all won't get to see my room. Then again, Winnie the Pooh. Oh no, Winnie the Pooh looks kind of cute. So what the heck?
Yeah,
Uh,
there you go.
I
It's like a
started
little
off with a.
Where's Waldo. You can kind of go and
It's
see what's
true.
back there.
There's Minnie. Okay, but I also started off with a Yeti. It
Yeah,
amazes me how
yeah.
many start off with a Yeti.
Yeah, they're good, solid mics. They've
Mhm.
done, a lot of good advertising, but there's no such thing as the best equipment. There's the best equipment for you and your budget.
That is
And
so
those,
true.
yeah, those are usually the two different things. If you do have to splurge on something to get started, definitely splurge on the mic. Just because it's a podcast and poor audio quality, people are less likely to forgive, but it doesn't have to be great. Don't, and I think that was part of
Yeah.
my problem when I first started. What it was still saying, perfect is
Yes.
the enemy of good or something like that. And I think that's my thing. It's like, okay, I got to have this perfect because there's a billion podcasts in the world. I got to make sure mine stand out. And I just kept pushing it back and pushing it back. And once I kind of realized, hey, good is okay.
Hmm.
It just made it a whole lot easier.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the panel that I got for DragonCon that I'm moderating for the digital track is when is good enough good enough.
Yeah.
Stop being a perfectionist because I'm a perfectionist. Um, and it's just so hard to just say, "Done. Let
Yeah,
it
and
go."
you get nitpicky about things too. So
Mhm.
yeah, I get it.
And I met these ladies that do a science podcast. They're science teachers, and they
Mhm.
literally are using, like, lower grade than Yeti mics, and they literally just record, stop, send it, and they're like, "We don't have time to do anything else," and they're hugely successful with it. They're in their
Mhm.
community. It's absolutely positively wonderful, and it really got me thinking about not holding yourself back, and for some reason, I thought of you and me
Yeah.
and
Yes,
our
that is
search for
definitely
work.
what I was doing. Yeah, that is
So
100% what I was doing. I've since I was only going twice a month. I found a really good editor on Fiverr who did
oh,
my first couple of episodes for me because I know a little bit of Audacity, but I figured,
oh.
okay, I can splurge a few bucks to have her take out some of the background hiss and a lot of the ums and ahs that what probably would have taken me days to do. I think she knocked it out in a couple of hours.
So I have never tried Audacity.
Hmm.
I'm a GarageBand girl,
Okay, I respect it. I respect it. You
and I
Mac
know
users.
yes, us Mac users, and I never met an ah that I wanted to take out. I'm horrible. I literally cut the end, the beginning, and if let's say the things fell over in the background because of the dogs, I'll go in and
Yeah,
try to find it. But you know, I'm horrible.
yeah.
I also don't. You just have to find your comfort zone.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I've learned there's nothing wrong with it being a little rough around the edges. That kind of gives you a level of authenticity.
It's true. Well, I know that we both now have dogs,
Yes.
so you'll get a level of authenticity. It's just a matter of time.
Yes, yes. One day, Augustus Kane, Fluffy Bottom Sherman will probably make an appearance. Usually, when I'm at work, he likes to jump in front of the camera when I'm on video. So, yeah, one day I'm going to be recording, and you're just going to hear his paws on our wood floor, click, 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 or him barking at the stray cat that walks around outside.
So what mine will do, I have 2 cats and 2 dogs and a husband, and one of them will do something. It's just a matter of which one.
Yeah,
And the 7-pound
exactly.
cat chases the 45-pound dog, so our,
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. You know how it goes.
I do. She's named for Princess Leia, and really she was named for General Leia. Um,
She lives up to it.
oh my gosh, so much sass. The rock god of podcasting has dropped by. That would be our track director for the digital media track. Hi, Charles. I
Hello,
can't say that
Charles.
word. I get in trouble, but yes, it is Super Channing.
Yes, Charles was another one. He was there when it was the podcasting track, and
That's right.
in between the tips from the track itself, and he was another one who was kind of like, okay, Channing, it's time for you to do this.
We were
Again, I'm sure
pretty
yeah. You've been here a lot. It's time for you to show something for it now.
we were a little bit up in your grill about it. We're like, "Channing,
But
you have to go."
in your I needed it. I'll admit I'm one of those, and that's one thing that I do like about my wife. Every now and then I need a little kick in the behind. I'm human. I suffer from self doubt.
I
So
understand that.
sometimes I need a little gentle and occasionally not so gentle push.
It's
And
true.
thankfully, yeah, a lot of you all were there for that.
Well, you were so awesome on the panels. It was like, "No, you need to be behind a mic." I mean, you cannot speak this well in public and not do just as well behind a mic.
Oh,
And I
thank
think
you,
that's
thank you.
true. We were talking about how to get comfortable. Speaking to people is like speaking to this thing. So the more comfortable you get with that, I think the more comfortable you can get with this. But I have a musician friend, done thousands of shows, and still, when you turn on a microphone for him, he wigs out the first part.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's recorded multiple albums, he's been part of a band, but there's this moment when he's in front of a mic when they first start out that he is just like, you know, and then after he performs a little bit, he's okay. But that was actually why I got them to record a live album. I said, "You want to get rid of that? Record live," because he was okay with that microphone. It was being in
Hmm.
a studio that would do it.
That is wild. Yeah, nerves will get anybody. I'm sure there are lots of professional singers and actors who, especially when they have to maybe get out of their comfort zone a little bit, who get nervous. So, yeah, you just gotta learn how to fight through them.
It's
And
true.
like I said earlier, you are never as bad as you think you sound.
I completely agree with that. And so, unless, of course, you have a cold and cannot stop coughing long enough to be a guest on a podcast. Not that
Well,
that's
yeah.
ever happened to me
Well, see,
recently.
I'm prepared for that. If that ever happens to me, I'm still going to record the podcast, but I'm going to set up a little Patreon or GoFundMe for people to pay for cold medicine. A NyQuil fund. If you
I
guys
should
want to
have
hear me
done that.
sound normal again, yeah,
Please get me through this.
right.
So, the rock god of podcasting has commented on the order of which I list things and that they're cats, dogs, and then the husband. But there we go. I love
Look,
him,
the
but he
husband knows where he stands.
he does well, and he doesn't make guest appearances in my stuff too often. Like I've been teaching online for like 15 years or something crazy like that, and I still have students that walk up to me and ask me about my animals because they made guest appearances. you know, Here's
That's
Clover, and
hilarious.
she thinks this about what we're talking about right now. But so you also started, I believe you're one of the founders of the Black Geeks of Dragon Con.
Yes,
Tell us more.
been doing that since 2015. What started out as just a picture to kind of show a little bit of Dragon Con's diversity has just grown. And that was literally all it was. You always hear that when you go to these conventions, it's mainly a sea of white people.
Right.
And and I was like, okay, I've seen a bunch of people of color at Dragon Con. And it started with me just kind of chasing them around so that I could prove I wasn't the only one. And one year somebody said,
Ah,
hey, just host a photo shoot.
true. We love a
No,
photo shoot.
yeah, like no, I couldn't do that. And yeah, we ended up like 30 people the first one, and now we're somewhere between 250 and 100. Yeah, it's a good group. One of my core sayings about it is it's not a protest, it's a party. What I also like about it, I use the group to try and recruit people to be on panels and to do presentations at DragonCon. I'm sure there were a few people who were sick of me last year, but I know there were a bunch of people from our Black Geeks group who were on panels. You did the Women in Digital Media
I
panel,
did. I had a
yeah, and
beautiful panel.
yeah, and all of them are part of the Black Geeks DragonCon group.
They were wonderful. I
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
blast.
yeah. So
And it's so
yes, I like
important.
that. Oh
Well,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
definitely.
I'll say somewhat of Wakanda probably helped us, but Black Panther certainly drove a lot in, and it was just so beautiful to see. And I love the fact that when I walk around Dragon Con now, I see more diversity in every way we can have it. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a fun group. I always tell people it's also kind of like a family reunion because
yes,
we have a lot of cosplayers in the group, but it's not required. But you may have people that you only see maybe 2 times a year at different conventions,
right.
unless they live in your area. So for a lot of people, it's a chance to see either old Dragon Con friends, maybe Dragon Con crushes, no judgment, just people, Dragon Con play cousins, so
Hey,
yeah, we're happy to kind of be the venue for that.
I think that's awesome. It's so true. I mean, I talk about the Dragon Con family. Well, thank you, Dobby. You can join the Dragon Con family as well now. Um, but it's true. When we had to go virtual, I didn't realize how much I missed it until 2021 when we were back together again, and I was like, "Okay, we can't do that again."
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was the right thing to do in my mind. I know some people had
mhm,
different takes on it, but yeah,
absolutely.
it was definitely weird not having to stand in a line because I feel like that is just an important part of Dragon Con. You have to stand in at least one line for something.
Well, I remember when we finally got the line, like, this I joke about this, I have an eternal membership to Dragon Con.
You lucky dog.
I bought it 25 years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's paid for itself.
It's paid for. I was a college student, and I put that thing on my Visa card. It probably took me 3 years to pay the damn thing off, but it didn't matter. It was only like 5 or $700 or so. It was bad, but it was
Right.
for an undergraduate, it was bad, but it's the best thing I ever did. But I did it because of the line.
Oh, that's right. Eternal members have their own registration area.
There is no line.
Right.
And now I
Yeah.
sneak and get that badge, and then I sneak over and get my attending pro badge, and I hope they never figure out that it's me.
Yeah, if I ever develop time travel, That's one of the things I'm going back. I'm gonna go back and tell my younger self, just go ahead, get that eternal badge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wish we'd bought my husband one when we got married, but it was already like, I forget, 1,500, 2,000.
yeah.
It's like, you're going to have to live an awful long time to break even.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I keep telling myself. Once you hit 40, you start to reevaluate some things. It's like,
Oh,
ooh,
just
am I gonna
40.
live that long? And am I gonna be going to Dragon Con
And
that
gone
long?
that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So do you stay downtown?
Yes. Because of the photo shoot, I do try to stay
Um,
downtown. If not at the host hotels, at some of the ones right next to it.
Have you gotten
In
your
the early years,
in
go
the
ahead.
year? No, no. Where are you staying this year? So we can stalk
Uh,
you.
this year I have not been able to find a reservation, so the
No.
hunt is on. The hunt is
Okay.
on. I'm shooting for Hilton or Sheridan.
Okay. Well, we'll
Um,
we'll put out some posts for you.
yes, yes, yeah, that's the plan. Last year was Hilton, which again for the photo shoot was great
Yeah.
because
No,
you
the
just
steps.
take the elevator down and yeah, the steps are right there. Sheridan was fun because I love the pool there. And if you want some level of peace and quiet at Dragon Con, the Sheridan is your best bet.
Yeah. No, out of the host hotels, I would agree with you.
Yeah, yeah, out of the host hotels, yeah, yeah. It's not really a party hotel. They do have a couple of events in there, but it's not a lobby party hotel. Let me put it like that. So yeah, if you need
No.
something quiet, that's what you want.
Yeah, I found we haven't stayed at the Sheraton. I've stayed at the Marriott years and years ago and the Hyatt,
Hmm.
and then we stayed at the Westin a few times. And I like the Westin.
Hmm.
But now we're Ritz people.
Yeah, my cousin and her husband, who were actually two of the other founders of Black Geeks of Dragon Con, they said
Ah,
the same thing. They are Ritz people.
I
They
won't go
yeah.
back. It cost me like $20 more a night. I'm like, and I got to ride down the elevator with Doctor Who. So yeah, no, I'm staying there.
Well, you got to ride down the elevator, period, because with Dragon Con,
That's
elevators are
true.
not guaranteed.
It's so true. Well, Scott's going to be staying at the Sheraton this year. It's just a
Okay.
brief walk to the Hilton. Like I've never wanted to stay at the Hilton because of the elevator.
Yeah, it was a mess last year. I got a good workout because I would normally walk up to like the fifth floor
No,
and then try to catch it. I was on the 14th floor. I have no way I was going to walk up 14 flights of stairs.
no.
But I said, okay, if I can make it to five,
Maybe I can
maybe
get
then I
in.
can jump in one. Because, yeah, you're not getting in one in the lobby without a lot of prayer. It's just, yeah, it's a mess.
There's a
It
lot of
is a
religion
mess.
at Dragon Con.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think some people discover religion at
Religion,
Dragon Con.
waiting for an elevator.
Yes. You're praying to something. It might be FedEx John, but you are praying to something for an elevator.
Oh, so for those of you who don't know, and by the way, Gwen, who's going to be doing our social media, she's never been to any convention, and Dragon Con's going to be her first.
Peace be with you, child.
I thought bless her heart, but I can't. I just said that. I really don't mean it. It'll be fine. So, what piece of advice would you give, given that you are part of the Dragon Con report? What piece of advice would you give somebody going to Dragon Con for their first time?
As far as what to do, I always recommend that first timers go to the parade. Um,
Yes.
yes, I go a lot because even though I'm not a professional photographer, I do like to take pictures. But I do recommend first timers hit the parade because it's a way to see a lot of the fandoms all in one spot.
Yep.
Um, I would also say be patient. Even with all the app changes and everything, there are gonna be lines for things. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are not a patient person, it is not gonna be a good environment for you. Um, let some stuff go. You're going to, and it usually is by accident. Somebody's probably gonna accidentally bump into you. Um, somebody may accidentally spill something near you. You just gotta let little things like that go. I'm not saying ignore rude behavior, but accidents are gonna happen also.
Oh no. And you
Oh yeah,
just it's so overwhelming. There are
yeah.
so many things, you know.
Yeah.
I
And
f-
if it's your first time, just remember you don't have to cosplay to have a good time. There are all kind of events where you don't have to dress up, And remember, Atlanta is hot, so sometimes the people who are not cosplaying or have the advantage because they're not sweating to death.
I married a cosplayer.
Ah,
He has, like, these costume he's, like, figuring out how he just bought he's doing a Mandalorian, not he's not doing the Mandalorian, he's doing a Mandalorian, named
mm,
Paz, and, he's trying to figure out a fan to go in the helmet to cool him. I'm like,
yeah.
"Dude, you're gonna be so" it's he does not care. People who are cosplayers are just in it, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. They're not just cutting fabric. They're engineers because I've seen people with those cooling systems,
Mhm.
and looking at it, it looks like something out of Star Trek. The way they're wiring everything through, I'm impressed. I really am, and yeah, I applaud their efforts because I don't think I have the patience to do that.
Well, I have a Jedi costume now. I have a generic Jedi. He has a Return of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh,
So,
very nice.
it is. He looks really nice, and I'm really pleased with it. And, he has a plague doctor that he debuted after the pandemic.
Was that by design or did it just happen to line up that way?
I don't know. But I bought him a little tiny stuffed animal, custom made for him, plague
Mm.
doctor that matches his plague doctor costume. So I try to be supportive.
Yes, yes. You have to support the hobby.
But a good t-shirt. I have 2 good friends, Brian and Jen Flatley, both who, their t-shirt game is so on point.
Yes.
And Gwen's talking about making sure she's not gonna miss out on wearing her elf ears at the very least.
Yes, you'll see a lot of elf ears. Geeky tees were my go-tos for probably
Mhm,
about 4 or 5 years straight. Then I
mhm.
started doing some light cosplay. I'm not doing full armor or anything, but
So
I
what are you
started doing some light
doing?
cosplay.
Ah,
I
come
was
clean.
Luke Cage. I was Luke Cage for a couple of years.
Nice.
That was another example of a hot cosplay because I'm walking around with a hoodie on, in 90-degree Atlanta weather. So I'm great. Um,
We all
I
hate
went.
ourselves.
Yeah, every now and then you question, oh boy, why did I do this?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do the Bunny Hutch party, and one year I was Prince Hefner, so a combination of Hugh Hefner and Prince. That one didn't come out as well as I would have liked, but it was a
Aw,
lot of fun. It was a lot of
that's
fun. I might upgrade it and make a few things.
okay, so for people who don't know, tell them what the bunny hutch is.
So the Bunny Hutch party, it's basically a Playboy themed party. But instead of just dressing as a regular Playboy bunny or regular Hugh Hefner, you see all these great mashups.
They
So you
are.
might see a Playboy bunny Scarlet Witch. There was a Playboy bunny Marilyn Monroe one year. There was a Hugh Hefner dinosaur one year. So just
Yes.
imagine a dinosaur in the smoking jacket. One year we had
I love our
the X
T-Rexes.
yeah, we had the X-Men as different bunnies and Hugh Hefner. So you had like a Scott Summers who was wearing the robe, Jean
Nice.
Grey in a bunny outfit, and it's comic accurate colors and accessories, and it's just who can do the wildest mashups. And I'm underselling it because I there have been just some great ones over the years. Any kind of fandom that you would imagine, I've seen people make a bunny suit that goes
Yes.
with it. It's quite impressive.
And what I love about Dragon Con is it's not just any type of fandom, it's also any type of body too.
Yes, yes, very
So
inclusive.
very inclusive. It's one of the wonderful things about the bunny hutch, I have to say.
Yes, yes,
We
yes,
like
and
all
as a
kinds of
whole,
bunnies.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've been to the Wonder Woman photo shoot is also another fun one. And you don't have to be a size 2 to be Wonder Woman. You will see Wonder Women of all size. Same thing at the Bunny Hutch party. You will see Hefners and bunnies of different
Mhm.
sizes, races, creeds. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get to see how creative people are.
Yes. I mean, I think that's one of the wonderful things about Dragon is the amount of creativity that goes into even just the simplest of things.
Yes.
Like, there's the Ollivander's wands that he's in the Hilton. I
Oh
don't know, have you
yes.
ever gotten a wand?
Yes, I did get a wand.
Yeah,
I got a wand during one of the down years, if I remember right, because
me
he
too.
normally tries to give them to kids, right?
He'll give them to anybody. He
Yeah,
just loves spreading joy.
yeah, yeah. He gave me one, so yes, I have the wand.
We were lucky we both got them was it last year or the year before? I was almost late to a panel, but I was like, no, I'm getting my wand." I'm like, "It's only a flight down or 2 flights down to the digital track, so
Yes.
they could just wait."
Yeah, that is another thing I like about Dragon Con. You don't have to, well, if you don't want to, you don't have to spend a lot of money on merch. There's, Swag and Seek where they'll hide little gifts and trinkets. There's the one guy. Yeah, you'd be amazed at the amount of things people are just there just in the spirit of Dragon Con. I've got all kind of little poker chips and commemorative coins.
Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't have to buy a lot of Dragon Con swag. Now don't get me wrong, I have, but it's a nice little mix.
I'm
But
not
I
even
think my
going to discuss it.
favorite, where was I? We were at the Star Wars party one year, and I was there with my cousin, her husband, and some friends, and they met some of their friends, and they were all in Star Wars outfits. And this guy, he hands me his toy lightsaber and says, "Hey, would you hold this? I'm going to the bar." Keep in mind, I just met this guy like 10 minutes ago. And like any adult man, when he let me hold his toy lightsaber, I started playing with it.
Of
Because, of course, that's
course.
what you do. I'm blocking and spinning it around and everything. And my cousin, who knows the guy, he comes over to me and he said, "Hey, I don't want to scare you, but that's a $500 lightsaber." My grip on that thing got so much tighter. It was ridiculous. I'm like, so this guy I just met just handed me a $500
That's trust.
lightsaber and walked away.
Yeah.
And what was funny was my cousin also told me, yeah, that's his, what did he say? That's his convention lightsaber. He has other more expensive ones, but those are like on display. So when your $500
Mhm.
lightsaber is the one you're bringing in the public to play around with photos, you're a diehard. You,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you're a diehard. Yeah.
I might have gotten a Princess Leia lightsaber when I was at Disney.
No judgment.
It was
No
on
judgment.
sale. It was on
Yeah.
sale. It was
I,
reasonable. It
I
was
kind of
not
want the
$500.
Ahsokas. Yeah, I
Yes.
want the Ahsokas, the dual ones. Yeah, I want those. But again, I
Right.
will not be paying $500. Can't do it. Can't do it. My wife's ears just perked up at the thought of me
Of the
doing that.
thought. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about my husband's Obi-Wan Kenobi movie replica lightsaber. It sounds really cool, I will tell you that.
Well, no, the thing that I keep scaring her with, if I had a favorite fandom, it would probably be G.I. Joe, but I really do like a
Ah,
ton of fandoms. And every now and then I'll see somebody who's selling like an ATV with tank treads or a Jeep or something, and I'll send her a picture of that next to a GI Joe vehicle that it resembles. I'm like, babe, just hear me out. I can get this. I can put it in the parade. I can use it every year. And it's yeah, and she just
she
hangs her
says
head
no.
in shame. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
It never fails. If there was a four wheeler and I sent her the picture of the four wheeler along with a Cobra four wheeler toy. I'm like, we can do this. Just
just
gotta
look,
paint it blue.
it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
put some foam missiles on it. Babe, it'll be great, and we can use it year round.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. One day I'm gonna shock her. One day.
please take pictures.
Yes, yes. I will also take pictures of the divorce papers that I'm sure she will hand me.
Yeah, we all have our vices. I mean, it could be
Yes.
worse. I mean, a
Yeah, yeah,
little
yeah. Well,
GI Joe or, lots
yeah.
of 75 we were talking beforehand about $75 whiskey shots.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. Or I could be a sneaker guy. Sneakerheads, man. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I can't spend that much on tennis shoes. So yeah, everybody's got their vice.
that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. We've only been married for about 7 months now, so I'm gonna wait until we make a year.
Oh, you're gonna wear
Then
down.
I'll start. Yeah, then I'll start.
Well, I was married to Shane for almost 12 or slightly more, right around 12 years before I found out we were both like real Star Wars geeks. Like I knew he liked Star Wars, but he was like, he likes Star Wars.
Star Wars.
And we're like, had this conversation. I'm like, how did we make it this far and us not figure this out?
Well, yeah,
Here we are.
yeah. When we were dating, my wife knew I was a geek. She didn't know how big of one. And what's funny is she has a daughter. I mean, she's my daughter now. For years, I used to call her my bonus child.
That's awesome.
Um, and she's a huge nerd. So
Oh,
that really
yay.
gave me an edge up on the other guys that she was dating at the time. Because it's like, oh, the child likes me. So I'm in. Like I
That
don't have to
counts.
worry about it. But yeah, she went from shaking her head when I started talking about Dragon Con to being a little bit more of a participant. She likes telling people what to do. So she does come and help us out with the photo shoot. And then to help kill time, she also volunteers. So she is
That's
a part of the
fabulous.
Dragon Con volunteer family. So I think that's nice.
That
She
is
is
awesome.
probably never going to cosplay, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
She also has very early bedtimes, so you're not
Oh,
gonna see her at a 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock panel or party,
oh my.
but you will see me.
Good.
Yes, yes. So she might try to recruit people to spy on me.
I need to meet your wife.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, Channing was at the Bunny Hutch party. Well,
What was he doing there?
but she also knows she doesn't have to because I take pictures of everything.
I know.
Like, oh, there's a picture of you picking up a woman in a bunny outfit. Oh, there's a picture
Come
of a woman in a bunny outfit picking you up. Oh, okay.
oh, that's even better.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, she knows what she married. We dated for 7 years. She and I went to Dragon Con
That's
all 7 of those years. She knows what
oh,
she's
that's
got.
awesome. No,
Yeah.
that's important. We did not know what we got when we got married, so we'd been together like 9.5 months. What the heck? Let's just do this.
Yeah, it's the surprise of the things. It's the
You
surprise.
know, he's does your wife still surprise you after all those years?
Yes. Yes. Every now and then she still pulls a few things out where I'm just kind of like, really?
I know.
Okay. And I'm
I
sure she'll say the same thing about me.
I stare at mine sometimes. I'm like, "Who are you? And where did my husband go? Because I don't know who
Right.
you are."
Now, to turn this back around to our topic, I
Oh,
haven't,
how dare
I, ha-
we?
yeah, I haven't heard about it in the last few years. Do they still do the Dragon Con speed dating? That was a thing for a couple of years.
Oh, okay, I
Um,
am no longer single at Dragon Con, so I don't know. So does Scott, any guys out there that are single know? Because I don't know.
yeah, when
Could you
I
imagine?
went one year, it was called light speed dating.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, I went and
Some
just
of
kind
these
of
guys are
peeked from behind the door because I wasn't gonna do it, but I wanted to see the ratio. And yeah, it was very interesting.
well, I'm just thinking we could have the digital media track just think we could have a meet and greet,
hmm
and all of us old married people can we could, like, preview, try
Yeah,
to
yeah,
hook them
yeah.
up.
We could be the screeners. We can
We
kind of,
could scream.
okay, he's kind of creepy. Maybe we don't let him in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
that kind of thing.
I've
Yeah, it
but
was interesting, but I feel like that's a good way. You get those people together who have some common interest, and you just see what happens. I know of one Dragon Con couple, but I'm sure there are others.
there's one talking to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's where you two met.
Yep, met him at DragonCon. Lord of
Oh,
the
well, there you
Rings.
go. There
We
we
were at a
go.
Lord of the
See.
Rings concert, and here was this gigantic man, he's 6'4", my husband, and, this lady sat in front of him that had Marge Simpson. She was cosplaying Marge Simpson, and
hmm
he couldn't see around her, which is, like, amazing, and he came and sat next to one of my best friends and me, and I friended him on Facebook before I left because he's like, "Oh, I'll see you at the pirate party tomorrow." And I'm like,
Oh,
"You and
Sherman.
30,000 other people? No. So is
Right.
this you?" And I'm like, so I friended him on Facebook, and about 3 weeks later, he asked me out on
Oh.
Facebook.
You mean something good came out of Facebook?
Oh yeah, no, that's how we got to
Whoa.
know each other. It was great.
Wow, that was really in the before times of social media.
Yeah, it was definitely. Well, it was. When did we meet? 2009.
Okay.
So it was not quite the hot cesspool. I mean, nothing is as cesspool as Twitter, shall we say? But it was before the onslaught of finding out some of your friends were really
Yeah.
shouldn't be your friends and are horrible. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
toss
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
aside.
Been there. Yeah. 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 That's actually a digital media panel. We'll have to put a we'll have to put a pin in that one.
Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
yeah, Charles, if you're still on here, we need digital media speed dating. Yeah, so go ahead and just figure out how to work that in.
We can do that. I
Yeah.
mean, we're expanding our programming.
hmm Yeah, yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, obviously, I can't participate, but I
You
can like
could
host or something.
I was about to say, we could MC it. We are
Yes,
ready.
yes, I like that. I'll serve.
I
I'll serve drinks. I don't know.
Yes, the digital media dating show. Find
Yes,
your new co-host.
I like it. I like it. Put a pin in this. Put a pin in this. People in the chat, if you think this is a good idea, maybe give us a thumbs up emoji. I'm just curious. If you think it's a terrible idea, maybe put a foot emoji, as in run away, run away.
Run, run. I've hooked up I've really only hooked up one couple, and they're still married and they have 3 kids.
Very good.
So, that was not too bad. Yes, Scott is like the digital media dating show. We've got this. So, rock
Yeah.
god of podcasting, be wary.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what, I might go ahead and just write it up. I submitted some panels last year. I might add that to the ones I'm planning on submitting this year. Just gonna figure out how speed dating would work.
Nothing like a bunch of married folk trying.
Right. Right. Look, I have enough failures on my list because I am very awkward around women, and I think I thought that being at Dragon Con there would be other awkward women there, so maybe that would help. No, I'm also awkward around awkward women. So I have some attempting to talk to women failure stories at Dragon Con. So even though I'm married, I can offer some insight
Offer
into the
insight.
process about what I've done wrong. I'm willing to share that. See?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. I can do it.
I always knew, like, every year Dragon Con was coming up and I was, like, still single, and I'm like, "I just know I'm gonna find him at Dragon Con." And I did. It just took me 20 some years. Um,
Again, that eternal badge paid off.
it did, and more is the best thing I ever bought. And it actually was, one of the former co-hosts, well, he passed away, Darren, um,
But yeah.
Noel, he was actually the reason I started coming to Dragon Con. He introduced me to Atlanta Fantasy Fair, and by way
Mhm.
of that, Dragon Con, so decades and decades ago, but
Yeah, for me it was a nerdy coworker. We both worked in Augusta, Georgia at the time. We were working for the newspaper,
Augusta,
and
Georgia.
yeah, and
How'd you
yeah, and part of the job is we're looking at the news feeds and the photos that AP is sending. And
Mhm.
AP did a photo drop from Dragon Con, and this
Yes.
was our first time seeing it. We're like, what is this and how do we get there? And yeah, so in '08, we just kind of, because we were poor newspaper people, which I think those two are synonymous at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's very,
we
very
put
true.
our money together and we went in 2008 and just kind of got hooked.
There you go. So you were originally in the newspaper business.
Correct. Did online journalism for 10 years.
That's that's amazing.
Yeah, I got to do a lot of fun stuff, some of which is carried over into the stuff on the track, which
Mhm.
again works because when we started doing audio, I was using some of the tips that I was learning on the then podcasting track to try to help us get started with the editing stuff. Yeah, I would, on any given day, I could be posting stories from the Associated Press, editing photos, or my personal favorite, going out and shooting videos of high school football and or coon hunting. So, a lot of variety there.
Coon hunting?
Yes. Again, we were getting
Augusta.
into the idea of doing video to go along with the stories. And a writer named Kelly Jasper, love her, she's one of my favorite people. She was doing a story on old Southern traditions.
Well, okay.
So there was catfish noodling where guys just use their hands and stick it down in the river and feel for a catfish and pull it out. But then there was also coon hunting, and they wanted to get some video of it, and I guess I drew the short straw. So yeah,
I mean, I'm
pitch
born and
pitch
raised Southern,
black.
and I have not done either of those ever.
Yeah, me neither. I will have to remember after this podcast. I have the video still. It was actually a lot of fun. It was scary as heck because it was pitch black. And that's the way they prefer it. They try to go out when there's a new moon, so it's as dark as possible.
I feel like this could be a reality show.
It probably could have been.
I
It
mean,
probably could have been because I ended up because of technical difficulties. I had to go out twice.
oh no.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. That
That's
was fun. But yeah, yeah, the newspaper gig, it was a lot of fun, but around 2010 or so when the bottom started falling out and newspapers started selling and merging,
yep.
yeah, it was time for a change.
Well, I do know we have some really weird, like, um, reality show people. I think it's the Mountain Men
Yes.
that are coming.
Mm-hmm. There's at least two different groups of ghost hunters, and I think you're
Yes.
talking about the Bigfoot hunters who are coming.
Yes, yes, or the
Yeah,
Sasquatch or yeah.
yeah.
Um, we will admit that our guilty pleasure is on Sundays, we watch really bad reality TV.
I didn't watch much, but I watch with my wife because she likes it, and I watch a lot of it just to riff on it. And
Yes.
one that she got hooked on, in addition to the home improvement shows that I think we
Oh,
all watch, she also liked there's a reality show, and I don't know if it airs all around the country. It follows the DNR agents here in Louisiana, so Department of Natural Resources.
yes. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
it's the guys who bust the people who are hunting without a license or
Love
they catch
them.
one too many fish. Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes. Yeah, we're
yeah,
all
we
over
got
those.
hooked on it. Yeah, we just got hooked on it because it's just like, wow, they do not play around,
Mm-mm. Let me
and
tell
they
you,
just come
Rangers,
they come at you from out of nowhere,
camouflaged.
right? Oh, they did a stakeout on a duck hunter.
Oh, yeah. No, they're serious. They'll
Yeah.
yeah, we watch all of those. We watch Swamp People. Um,
Hmm.
I'm a huge ghost. We love ghost stuff, so I'm excited about the number of ghost people that are coming, but, so there's Tyra's guilty pleasure now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no judgment. Absolutely no judgment.
That's what I love about you.
That's not my voice. I had people telling me how I sound good. I figured it was my voice, but I'll take that. I don't judge.
I
Yeah.
like I like your voice too, but I'll
Mm,
take your, you're very smooth even though you don't believe that you are.
yeah. I try.
So so I know that you're gonna be back up getting Smarty Art Brother out and about. So what are some of the things that you learned, when you drop those first few episodes that you are, gonna incorporate into going forward? And when can we, start nagging you for a new episode?
So, a couple of things I learned is it's different scheduling people when they're just people. And by that, I mean, these are
Oh,
my
yes.
friends. They don't
Mhm.
have agents or administrative assistants or anything that I can go through. So it's literally me messaging them or texting them and hoping that they'll respond back. And then, some of them, they have kids and lives. So it is a
How
little bit
are they?
tricky to get them scheduled. And part of what I'm doing to adjust to that, I didn't want my podcast to be a talking head podcast, but
Mhm.
I think I'm going to, bank a few of me talking about things that I'm comfortable talking about and
Yeah.
kind of have those for weeks when I'm unable to get a guest lined up. So that was definitely a good one. And also, I've just kind of learned that you can never have too many episodes banked. I
Yeah.
I recorded three before I even uploaded my first one, and I kind of wish I had done more, just because of the scheduling issues and everything.
Oh,
And
I
most of
me
our
too.
topics were evergreen. Nothing that I
Oh,
that I
that's good.
touched on in those first four was time sensitive. So yeah, I wish I had done that a little bit more. But um, gonna readjust. I've got three lined up. I just got to pin the people down. I may, in a couple of cases, just have to go to their house with a microphone. Just
Wasn't that
wait
the
for them.
that
Yeah,
was the best thing about a Yeti because it has that switch where you can two people at
yeah,
once.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
You just go
travel,
to it.
slam that puppy down on the table, and let's just do this.
Yeah, one of them, their kids know me as Uncle Channing, so I know if I go
Oh,
there, I give them a candy and some toys, they'll be quiet for like 30 minutes to an hour.
you can
I
do it?
think I can bribe them. But I am hoping to have one not this coming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after.
Okay, well, I'm gonna cross my fingers for you because I believe in you.
Yes, thank you. And if you haven't listened already, I gotta admit those first episodes that are up there, I'm a little biased, obviously, but I like them. I think the topics were good. They were funny. They were informative. So definitely catch a few, it will really give you an idea for the tone of the show,
I
and
agree.
if it's something you want to keep listening to, which hopefully you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to hear your voice, Channing, of
Yeah,
course.
if nothing else. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, what I like about it is it's different. I mean, I think that's one of the hardest things in today's podcast world is to try to come up with something that stands out and is different than what other people are doing. And I really
Yeah.
do think yours is doing that. I think that
Thank you.
first off,
Thank you.
different perspective, but the fact that you're looking at so many different types of subjects.
Yeah, and that is one of the big things I wanted to do. Actually, in our chat now, Ego Trip, that is one of my best friends from high school. I've got
Oh,
to get him on because he is a new dad, and I have got to get his experiences on that. Because I can tell you, when he and I were hanging out in high school, the idea of being fathers was far, far, far and away from our mind. Like
so
if you had said any of us, yeah, exactly,
oh,
45 with a newborn.
good for you. My dad was 50 when I was born, so I actually think older people make better parents. Not no shame to those who are young and having kids. That's great. But there's just something great about an older parent. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be great. Not that 45 is old because I'm 55, but it's all good.
yeah.
God bless his soul. He
God
was
bless us.
he was 50, my mom was 44, and he was, how shall I put this? As proud as a peacock that he got her pregnant.
Of course. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yes.
I
And he
bet the family
maintained that.
newsletter was interesting that year.
Oh, yes. We would go to the grocery stores and people would say, "Oh, it's your grandchild." And he's like, "Hell no, she's mine." And I have distinct memories of him saying that. Other people have, "Oh, what a cute baby." I have my dad going, "Hell no."
Look, if you got it, you flaunt it. It goes for men and women. You're flaunting different things, but you're still flaunting it.
It's true.
Just saying it. Yeah.
Well, ego trip, are you from Louisiana? Is that how you understand Cajun? Because I love swamp people and I'm not from Louisiana, but I do understand them most of the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. He and I are proud Lake Charles folks. Yes, it
Oh,
is a different
awesome.
type of pride.
A different type of pride. My uncle was actually a Catholic priest in New Orleans,
Okay.
so he heard way too many things.
I was just about to say he has some stories. Like I'm sure
Yes.
he can't tell the stories, but if he wants to tell them to me, I will rewrite them and and cut him
Un
in on the profits.
Unfortunately, he has taken all those stories with him to the great beyond, but
I got you. Okay.
but he was I would bring let me tell you, my uncle was he was awesome. And you just have to you're gonna be a Catholic priest in New Orleans taking confession, you you gotta have some, you know,
Yeah.
staying power. Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. You got to be ready for what you're gonna hear. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I wouldn't. I know he won't do it, but I would kill to be able to get my dad on an episode
Oh,
because
yes.
my dad just has some of the most interesting out there stories, and it's things that I never knew.
Mhm.
My dad's roommate in college at Grambling State University was a guy named Ernie Ladd. Ernie Ladd was a pro football player and a professional wrestler. He was in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh my god.
Finding out that my dad was roommates with Ernie Ladd would be the equivalent of you guys finding out that I was roommates with The Rock in
Right.
college. That's kind of not just the size disparity, but also the personality disparity. Like that is exactly what it's like. And I just want to know, how did that even happen?
I
Yeah,
it
and they were still talking even in their older years before he
Aw.
passed.
Is your dad here still?
Oh yes, yeah. He and
Oh
mom are still here. They're in Lake Charles, and they're happy to have their son back, but they're really happy to have their daughter-in-law here.
oh, I bet. Have they told
Yes,
you that they're keeping her if anything happens yet?
not yet, but it's kind of been implied. Because when I make the joke that they like her more than me, they don't
They
bother
don't say
trying to
anything?
correct me.
Yeah, I
They
understand.
don't.
No.
They don't, and they love her daughter. So, and I mean, her daughter
Aw.
is 22 now and a student at SCAD, but I swear it's like she's a
Ah!
child to them.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents got, 4 bonus grandchildren, and best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
We love, but you need to get your dad to talk to you. That's the only thing I regret is, like, we're at my dad's funeral, and I'm hearing these stories about him, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And then later
Right.
I found out he told my husband some of them, but he wouldn't tell his daughter.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm like,
Gotta,
"Crap,
you gotta keep a few secrets.
no." So go talk to your dad and, in the state of Georgia, only one person has to know you're recording.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, I have an in because I'm not kidding. He really likes my wife. They're both army people. They both served in the army, and they
Awesome.
were swapping stories a couple of times. And he invited her to their VFW at the Memorial Day event. No, the Veterans Day event at his VFW. So I'm sure she could get him talking.
Mhm.
So yeah, I may have to bribe her.
I
Just wire her up, put a little hidden mic on her.
nobody will ever know, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Just for
exactly. Yeah,
you.
yeah. It'll be fine.
So what's next for you? We're almost the end of our ego trip. Do you have anything you wanna ask Channing that you don't wanna ask him, but I can ask for you, so then you didn't ask? I mean, I'm here for you.
See, ego trip. I don't have any experience with raising babies, so I can't help you out much there.
I don't either, so
I babysit a lot of my nieces and nephews, but that's different because you can give them back.
yes.
Yeah,
I
so
you
yeah, I can't offer a lot of advice, but he's actually been to Dragon Con a couple of times.
Oh, you coming this year? Well, you got a new baby.
Because it's funny, I saw him there by accident one year. Because I didn't know he was living in Atlanta. Last time we had talked, he was still in Arizona,
Oh,
and I was
yay.
watching the parade, and I was in a parking deck, and I just happened to look down Peachtree, and I'm like, "Is that Mike?" Yeah, so I texted him, I'm like, "Dude, is that you?" Yeah, come to find out, he had been in Atlanta, and he had never been. So I think he showed up at 2. And I know we're running out of time, but I will tell this story real
No,
quick.
no, no, we're fine.
Yeah, for years I tried to get into the Dragon Con burlesque show. I mean, for years, from
Okay.
2008 on forward,
How did you
and
not
could
get
never
in?
get in.
Oh, my
Could never ever get in.
can I tell you how to
And I
get in?
want to say,
Security.
last year I had given up. I said, you know what? I I'm wasting, 2 3 hours standing in that line. I'm just gonna hang up. And Mike's like, no, come on, we got to do it again. It was fun just standing in line last year because it's Dragon Con. You make some line friends.
That's true.
W- We go and we get there. They're letting people in. We're at the door and they close it. I'm like, well, there it goes again. And we hear somebody say, how many more people? We got room for 5 more. The guy counts out 1, 2. Mike was 3. I was 4.
Oh,
Got
good
in last
times.
year. Yeah,
Good for
we were
you.
on the back row. We were on the back row, but I got
Uh-huh.
in.
Still
So
there.
yeah. So I have him to thank for that because I had planned on giving up at that point. Yes, it
Victory.
was. It was victory. That is how I felt. You couldn't tell me anything for the rest of the night.
He's like, "I am happy."
Yes, I'm happy. I enjoyed the show. I got in. I don't even know if I'm ever going to try to go back. Actually, I
Ye
probably will because it was fun. But I got in at least once.
My
So
husband
yes,
used to, work security. He was actually working security when I met him, and didn't sleep the entire weekend really, which is problematic, by the way. Uh,
yes,
so that was the last time he worked security. But, if you're trying to get into something like that, one of the easiest ways to do it is work security
yes,
and work your way up and be nice and, do your job good, and
yeah.
you'll get to go places.
Oh, the places you'll go.
So, well, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to for DragonCon this year? And you can say the digital media track, but I'm not paying you to.
This year. I haven't seen too many guests that I'm really excited about yet. No disrespect to the ones who are going, but
Right.
I'm familiar with a lot of them already. There are a couple of new things that I want to do. Each year I try to go to something on a track that I don't normally go on.
Oh, that's
I
a
want to
nice
go
thing.
to the night battle. So they actually have people in the full suits of armor with swords
I haven't
doing
been there
combat.
either.
Yeah, so I kind of want to go to that. And again, just seeing some folks that I don't normally get to see. There's a couple of cosplayers, and they're legitimately two of my favorite people to see each year. And it's become a ritual that we get a photo of them.
Aw.
Um, the woman that I picked up for the picture, she's one of them. And yeah, so I'm always excited to see them. And usually it's just at one event, and then we go our separate ways. But they're just
Right.
genuinely nice, and they do some good cosplays. And just yeah, seeing folks. Mike's gonna be there, so gotta see him.
I know.
Yeah.
Ego trip, I'm gonna have to hunt you down. Just saying.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
even know
Oh
who
yeah.
you are, but you're a friend of Channing's, which means you're awesome.
Oh yeah, cool guy. Kept me out of trouble in high school. Got me into a little bit too, but mainly kept me out of it.
That's a good friend to have, the kind that
Oh
knows
yeah.
when to get you into trouble and when to get you
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh yeah. Our moms were claiming each one of us as their bonus child.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So to my mom, he was basically another brother for me. So it was great.
Well, that's very good. And now you get to be an uncle.
Yes. Yes. Uncle Chad. I'm being nice, but eventually, Mike, I am gonna send some loud toys. I just want you to know. Yes.
It's a
Yes. The
requirement.
baby DJ kit is coming. And then in 18 years, she's gonna be able to DJ a Dragon Con party.
That's it.
It's
We
an
want that.
investment.
He's like, "I'm just gonna put on headphones, that's all I'm gonna do."
Right.
Scott says, "That's savage." We might have done something similar to my husband's sister and his sister, so
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to do that with kids when they're not
oh,
yours.
yeah. When you don't have any, nobody can get you back. I mean, what are they gonna do? Buy my dog a bail? I mean,
Right. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
we're
Mine's 22. Mine's 22 and about to start her final year of college. So she's
there you
good.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited she's here at SCAD because SCAD's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
She's loving it.
well, tell the nice people out there where they can find you on the lovely web.
So you can find me in a couple of places. If you just want to follow little old me, I'm at Channing Sherman on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That's
Oh,
just
hold it,
me.
wait. You do the TikTok?
I right now I'm still in a following. I'm relatively new to
Me too.
TikTok, so I'm doing a
Yeah.
lot more lurking. But I'm going to incorporate it more as we build up to the convention.
I look forward to it. We're dropping some what's that word? Links in the chat for
Yes.
people to find you. So
Yep.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I follow you over on Instagram. He's got a really nice
Right.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And
Instagram is probably the one I use the most, especially since Twitter has become the hellscape that it's become. Let's just be real.
true.
Yeah. For the podcast, I'm at Smarty Art Brother wherever you get your podcasts from. Just
Awesome.
go in. I know I'm on Spotify, Apple, the big ones. If you want to, I'm not doing much with the social media for it, but go ahead and search for Smarty Art Bro,
Oh,
BRO.
is that
Yeah,
you?
that's me on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, good
Once
to
I
know.
start back up, yeah, it'll be there. And also, yeah, look for my group, Black Geeks of Dragon Con. Like I say, it's a
How do they
party,
find
not a
you?
protest.
No,
Oh, no.
we love our Black Geeks of Dragon Con. I'm just gonna say that. But
Oh,
how
yeah.
can they find you besides obvious, like there's Channing, run, hug him, and say, "Where are you?"
Oh, you mean at Dragon Con
Yeah,
or?
how do they meet up with you guys
Oh,
or get
so
involved?
we normally put the meetup every year. It's a photo shoot. So if you go to DragonCon photo shoots on Facebook,
There you go.
they'll have a list. They haven't started doing them yet, but once we have a date and time confirmed, we usually try to do it Sunday on the back steps of the Hilton. Yeah, show up. You'll see some good cosplay. You
Mhm.
don't have to be a person of color to show up and take pictures. You can come out and be an ally and just again see some cool cosplays. We love the supporters. We really
Absolutely.
do.
Well, I will try to be out there. I've never actually found the back steps at the Hilton.
It's like right upstairs from you.
No, but I've never found
Oh
I'm
yeah, and
a little I'm a little tense. I'm just gonna say that. I got some issues.
oh, and it's in chat. If you would like to see the Hell on Wheels dog we were talking about earlier,
Oh,
he is
yes.
on Instagram at I am Black Cane. Yeah, for somebody who doesn't
He's
have thumbs, he
cute.
really does a lot on Instagram. I'm very proud of him.
He's adorable. I'm bringing him a gift
Yes,
'cause
and ladies, he's single. So if you've got any dogs you want to hook him up with,
Ah, hold it. Can he still bear children or
he
father
cannot.
ch Okay,
He
neither
cannot.
can mine.
He cannot.
Yeah,
We did the Bob Barker thing. So yeah.
yeah, no. We did it on February 13th. This is pre-Valentine's Day gift. I will always remember when we did it, though.
That is terrible for many reasons.
I
It was
know.
responsible, don't get me wrong, but the date you chose,
Oh,
a little rough. A little rough.
little rough. He got over it eventually. We both have dogs that are very similar in age. His is much bigger than mine.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, no, Dobby's only like 45 pounds. How big is your lovely fluffy butt? What was it?
I didn't think we could talk about that on this podcast.
Well, it's now 9:10, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all bets
Yeah,
off.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. But that's when I finally decided to participate in the burlesque show instead of just watching. Yeah, I'm sure Channing's Fluffy Bottom, that'll be my stage name when I do burlesque. No, he's 60 pounds of solid muscle.
He looks bigger than 60 pounds, just so you know.
Oh yeah, he's probably gained a few. He's
Okay.
probably gained a few.
Well, go find Channing. You can see him all over the web. Don't forget the Dragon Con report comes out once a month.
Yes, once a month. We talk about all things Dragon Con. Usually have a good guest from either a different track or this next one coming up. We're actually going to be interviewing the director of guest relations. So I'm
Oh,
very excited about that one.
who is that?
Rachel, I cannot remember
Rachel.
her last
I
name.
can't either.
Yes. Yeah, excited for that. So yeah, it's a good show. We announced the guest. As more news comes out, we'll be announcing more.
Oh,
We
I'm
hope.
excited. I listen to it every month.
Yes, yes, but please check us out.
Check them out and make sure that you watch for Smarty Art Brother coming out with more podcasts. And of course, go follow him on Instagram. I'm Tyra Burton. You can find me across the web at tyraburton.com and on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, except for I'm Tyra Ann Burton on Twitter because there was some lady named Tyra Burton who posted once. She was single and ready to mingle, and she's obviously still mingling because 15 years down the road, or she still has my freaking name. Not that I'm bitter at all.
No, no, not
No,
bitter at all. Not
not
bitter
bitter
at
at all.
all.
No, it's okay.
No, no, no.
Why I hop on every social channel to beat every Tyra Burton to my stuff now. Um,
There you go.
there we go. I also have a TikTok where I lurk and have never actually posted a video, but I have like 100 people following me.
Yes, yes. I'm TikTok, and one day I might do a dance.
Oh,
Yeah,
I will
yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be the thing. You know what? If enough people use the hashtag Channing's Fluffy Bottom,
oh, you
I'll get
know.
yeah, I'll get a choreographer and see if we can figure out a TikTok dance for me to do.
Oh, you have no idea what you have just released through me. Janice, oh, I know
Oh,
where I'm going to use
that is
that.
gonna mess up some algorithms, I'm sure.
Yeah. They'll be like, is it a rabbit channel?
Right. I can already hear Mike calling our friends from high school and middle school and college. Look,
And
don't ask why. Just everybody go tweet and Instagram this.
yes, we're going to be waiting for your dance.
Oh God. Oh God.
I'm a white girl who can't dance, so that ain't happening here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. When God was handing out a rhythm, he skipped over me.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Mike will back me up on that. Yeah,
man can't
yeah.
dance.
Yeah, I cannot dance. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he's going
That's
to
the
learn.
hashtag. Channing can't dance.
Neither can my husband.
Oh yeah, I forgot about May. Yeah, yeah. Let May know.
Okay, May Hemmer, if you're out there, just remember.
Yeah, she's producing the burlesque show this year.
Ah,
And
oh.
she's also a Louisiana native, so we bonded when we met the other year.
We need to talk to her. You guys won't have to wait in line if we get Fluffy Bottom up there. I mean, you don't have to wait in line if you're part of the show. Come on.
That is true, but I need to do several thousand crunches and eat several hundred salads. Um,
Now remember, we're an accepting community.
that's true. That's true, but I'm not accepting of myself. But that's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different podcast. I've
I
gotten
think
yeah, yeah.
we have an imposter panel on the digital track as well. So we should
Uh,
probably be both going to that one. So
if you need an alternate guest panelist for that one, put me on. I've got some things I can say. Why do you think it took me 6 years to start a podcast?
brother, I know. I totally feel you. And I think that's something like as a woman, I talk about it a lot because there's a lot of
Hmm.
women, but it's true with men too. And I think we need to talk about that as well. So,
Yeah, definitely. I
so
love it. We
we're
get
going to,
to end on a serious note.
there, no, let's go back to Fluffy Bottoms. I'm crushed. Okay, follow us on all those channels. If you haven't already subscribed to our Twitch channel and our YouTube channel, why not? Do that right now. We need your support. Trust me, we need it. Tell people, get them to come to the bottom of the Hilton. We've got 2 track rooms this year. And just to give you an idea of what's coming up next, I have no idea who's going to be streaming live next week on open mic. We're actually going to go back to back weeks because the rock god of podcasting cannot podcast next week. So let me know if you're out there and you're part of our channel and you want to take over the mic on June 6th. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to volunteer somebody because I'm a teacher and I know how to do that.
I like it.
Next time we'll have, it's a good skill, I think. June 13th, Michelle Cass will be back with Charles on Behind the Track. And I wanted everybody to know Channing and I talked a lot about the history of the digital media track and how it started off as the podcasting track. We were actually further up in the Hilton. When we became the digital media track, they dropped us to the basement.
That's right. Yeah.
I know. But the history, we're going to be talking about it on July 25th on Behind the Track with the rock god of podcasting, Charles McFall, and some of our original people that were involved with that. Dobby has woken up, so I think it's time for us to head on out of here. So, Fluffy Bottom, I don't know how to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me ramble. I hope you and all the guests enjoyed it. I do feel like I made a bet that I'm going to regret, but
Probably so,
hey,
sir.
yeah, you never know. If
I have
nothing
no
else, I just
idea.
want to see Channing's fluffy bottom trend on Twitter because no one will be able to explain it.
When you know what's going to happen, they're going to think that it's Channing Tatum.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great.
So we'll just, and we could get Channing Tatum to do a dance with you.
Can we put my head on Channing Tatum's body with AI
That's going to
and
look.
then do the dance?
I mean, I think everybody will know it's AI for
Yeah,
obvious reasons. But he does know how to dance. We'll just leave that there, won't we?
yeah. We'll figure that out in post production. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we've got people. I'll let my people, then your people, and it'll Fluffy Bottom will be fine.
Exactly.
Well,
But
go hug your
seriously,
dog for me.
thanks and thanks for having me on. I do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Channing. It's been a blast. I am so glad we got to do this. So, thanks everybody out there in Twitch land, and go watch us on YouTube. See you next time.
Channing's fluffy bottom.